Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Mississippi State football predictions for the 2019 college football season. Before I continue, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and please subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated and you won't regret it. So I'm going to go through the pros and cons of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, then your best case and worst case scenario, then your 3 toughest and 3 easiest games. Then I'll go through the schedule, tell you which games Mississippi State's going to win or lose, and then I'm going to go ahead and give you a score as well, and then I'll give you the final record prediction and conference record prediction. So let's jump into this. Your first pro for Mississippi State is the defense. The defense for Mississippi State is going to be one of the top defenses in the SEC, in my opinion. They were last year. I expect the same this year. They held Alabama to 24 points. They held a lot of teams to under 20 points. And I'm going to be honest with you, last season, I thought outside of Clemson, the Mississippi State Bulldogs played the best against Alabama. So I think when Mississippi State played Alabama, I think that was their second toughest game for Alabama right there, that 24-0 game. And that game could have been tied at 14 at halftime, but it wasn't. Nick Fitzgerald turned over the ball some. But anyways, your defense is big time for Mississippi State. I think it could carry you to some of these wins. Your second pro is the talent. The talent is pretty good for Mississippi State. It's not like with Alabama or like LSU or Georgia, but it's one step below it. And that's pretty good if you're in the SEC. So your talent is the second pro. 2 cons. Your first con is the offense. You have a new quarterback. I think his name is Keon Davis, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure about that. But I kind of forget his name. My apologies. But you have a new quarterback. I know Joe Moorhead is supposed to be an offensive guy, so we'll see what happens. I thought last year Mississippi State was actually a big disappointment because I thought last year if Dan Mullen stayed as the head coach with the Bulldogs, I think last season Mississippi State would have won 10 games at least. But last year you guys went 8-5, and that was kind of because of your offense. But as a new quarterback, we'll see what happens. But the offense, I think, is the big Achilles heel for Mississippi State. And then the second con, you're in the SEC. Alabama and LSU are better than Mississippi State. I'm just going to be way up front with you all. And Georgia's better than Mississippi State as well. So those are 3 teams right there that you got to get through. 2 of them in your division, Alabama and LSU. And then you'll probably end up facing Georgia in the SEC championship if you guys get there. So those are the 2 pros and 2 cons. Let's get to the best case and worst case scenario. I have down for your best case scenario 11-1. Your worst case scenario 6-6. I do think even though Mississippi State does get LSU and Alabama at home, and they got to go on the road against Texas A&M, I'll throw them on the list as well. I think they're going to lose at least 1 out of those 3 games. So that's why I have best case scenario 11-1. Worst case scenario 6-6. You can lose all 3 of those games. You're on the road against Auburn. You lost to Kentucky last season as well. So that's 5. And you could slip up against maybe Tennessee on the road and the Egg Bowl. Kansas State might be a lot better than we think. Arkansas might be a lot better than we think. So you guys can slip up there as well. So definitely, worst case scenario 6-6. 3 toughest games: Alabama, LSU, Texas A&M. Alabama, no explanation there. They always seem to win the SEC. They have, I think they have like a 15-game winning streak against Mississippi State. In the Battle of Route 84. So they basically owned you throughout this decade at least. And then LSU, a team that Mississippi State has had some success in the past, but that was under Dan Mullen. You guys lost them last year. I thought the defense played well against LSU last year, but the offense couldn't do anything really. And then Texas A&M, a team that you all did beat last year, but it's in College Station, and Texas A&M is going to be a pretty good team this year. So those are your three toughest games. The three easiest games are Abilene Christian, Louisiana, and Southern Miss. Abilene Christian is an FCS opponent, so I'm not going to really. I don't think there'll be a debate there. Louisiana, they were in the Sun Belt Championship, but that was a 7-5 team and a weak Sun Belt West. Last year, the Sun Belt, it was the first time ever that they did conferences, not conferences, divisions. So it was a very weak. They played in a very weak Sun Belt West, in my opinion, and went 7-5. And then, so I don't think they're that good of a team. That game is a neutral site game, though, at the Superdome. And then Southern Miss, yes, Southern Miss, they are a pretty consistent program. They always seem to be one of the better teams in the Conference USA. But it's the SEC versus the Conference USA. I'm not going to sit up there and say a Power 5 team is better than a team in the Conference USA, except maybe some teams are worse than UAB. So, except maybe North Texas against Arkansas. But overall, those are your three easiest games. So now I'm going to go through the schedule, tell you which games Mississippi State is going to win or lose. We'll start off with Louisiana. This game's a neutral site game in the Superdome in New Orleans. Louisiana, as I said, they were the SEC, not the SEC. They were the Sun Belt West Division champs last year before losing to Appalachian State. Louisiana is a team, they're decent, but they're not going to be giving Mississippi State much of a test. I have a 41-16 Mississippi State as they kick off the season with their first win of the year. Second game is Southern Miss. Southern Miss is a team, as I said, they're going to probably give Mississippi State a competitive game. It could be close at halftime, but I think Mississippi State is the better team. They'll pull away in the second half, and I have Mississippi State winning this game 30-16. Next game is Kansas State, a Big 12 team. Kansas State, they're a team with a new head coach. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the Big 12, in my opinion. And I think Mississippi State, they take care of business here. They beat them last year in Manhattan, Kansas. This year, the game's at Starkville, Mississippi. I have Mississippi State winning this game 34-14. Then Mississippi State, they open up conference play against their cross-division rival in Kentucky. Last year, this game I think was 27-7 or maybe 28-7 in Kentucky's favor. Kentucky, they're coming off probably one of their best seasons in a very long time, but they are losing their two best players in Josh Allen and Benny Snell Jr. And I do think those players are going to be very hard to replace. I have Mississippi State. I think Mississippi State, they squeak by Kentucky here, 14-13. I think the difference is that the game's in Starkville, and I think that Mississippi State is looking for revenge after last year, and Mississippi State goes ahead and wins this one 14-13. And then Mississippi State, they will open up an SEC play, and they'll be 1-0. Next game is at Auburn. Auburn, a team you guys beat last year kind of easily, I might add. When Auburn was a top 10 team and they went to Starkville and got upset. I picked the upset, by the way. I saw that coming from a mile away. This year, though, the game is in Jordan-Hare. I don't think Jordan-Hare is much of a home field advantage because Tennessee went in there and beat them last year. And same thing LSU did last season as well. So they lost 2 games at Jordan-Hare last year. Auburn is a team. They're going to also have a new quarterback. Gus Malzahn's on the hot seat. This game might be a game that Auburn might have to win just to get to a bowl game. I have Auburn squeaking by. I already did my Auburn football predictions. And I'm making a playlist with all the college football prediction videos, so you go check that out on the McD Sports 4 YouTube channel. But I have Auburn squeaking by here, 21-20. I just think that Auburn's going to be possibly desperate. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, a little bit of a spoiler alert if you haven't watched the Auburn predictions. I have them losing to Oregon. So Definitely a team here in Auburn that might be a bit desperate. Gus Malzahn might be coaching for his job already at this point, even though I think he is going to be coaching for his job going into the season. But I think the seat might be really hot, and I have Auburn winning 21-20. I think Auburn's going to be a bit more desperate than Mississippi State, especially at home at Jordan Hare. Okay, then what happened? Then next week, Mississippi State they get their first bye week. Every team gets 2 bye weeks because of how the calendar aligns on the schedule. And then the next game is at Tennessee. Tennessee is a team. They're gonna have a decent offense this year. The defense though is gonna be kind of shady. And what I mean by that is I don't think the defense is gonna be that good. You look at Tennessee, they're looking to bounce back, haven't been in a bowl game in 2 years. I do think Tennessee will be approved some this year. And I actually think that since this game's in Knoxville, I did go ahead and pick Tennessee since the game's in Knoxville. I think Tennessee wins this game. I have it 26-19, and Tennessee, I think, just wins this game. Tennessee might have to win this game to get into a bowl game. Same thing with Mississippi State, even though I do think if you listen to my best case and worst case scenario, no matter what, Mississippi State does get into a bowl game. But I do have Tennessee winning this game 26-19. I think Tennessee is going to be a team that might pull off an upset or two. Mississippi State, I do think, will be favored going into this game. But I do think Tennessee is going to be one of those teams that could pull off an upset or two. Maybe not a big upset, but maybe a minor upset like maybe this game. So give me Tennessee 26-19. Next game, LSU at home. LSU is a team that very good defense. They actually have somewhat of an offense this year. We already did the LSU football predictions. So if you watch that video, you already know who I have in this game. I have LSU going into Starkville and beating them 13-10. I think this game is a very low scoring game. I think the defenses show out and ball out in this game. But I think the LSU offense is the difference in this one. I think they have a much better offense than Mississippi State, and I have LSU winning 13-10. Next game, Texas A&M on the road at Texas A&M. The game is in College Station. Texas A&M, a lot of people are really high on them, but that schedule is really tough. So I think the people that are really high on them, I think, kind of mellowed out a little bit, maybe. But I do think Texas A&M. I think they have a very good offense. I think the defense is pretty good. I think they are a better team than Mississippi State. I really do. The game's in College Station. I picked Texas A&M. I already did the prediction video for Texas A&M, so you can go check that out on the McD Sports 4 YouTube channel. But I have Texas A&M winning this game. I have a 16-10 Texas A&M. I think it'll be low scoring, but I think I just think Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M. I just think that they are a much better team than Mississippi State, in my opinion. So that's why I went with them. So now Mississippi State, according to my predictions, a 4-game losing streak after coming out 4-0. So they're 4-4 going on the road into Arkansas. Arkansas is a team that I think they're going to be the worst team in the SEC West personally. But I do think they'll have a decent offense. The game could be pretty close. The game is in Fayetteville. But overall, I am going to go ahead and pick Mississippi State. I just think that they are the better team. I think the Mississippi State defense is the difference. Because defenses do travel. Whether you like hearing that or not, they do. It's a fact. And I think that the Mississippi State defense is the difference. I have a 28-17 Mississippi State as they pick up their second win in conference play. So at this point, they're 2-4 in the SEC going into their second bye before playing Bama. They're probably not going to be they're probably looking at just getting into a bowl game at this point. Next game, Alabama at home. Mississippi State fans probably think they have a shot in this one. I give them like a puncher's chance in this one, honestly. Last year, you guys I thought played very well against them. If your offense didn't turn over the ball, I think you guys might have had a very, very legit shot in winning that game. But the game this year, yes, it's in Starkville. I just can't pick you guys. I really can't. It would be foolish to me to pick Mississippi State to beat Alabama. You haven't beat them in over a decade. I just can't do it. I can't bring myself to it. I think it'll be similar to last year, the game. I have 27-7 Alabama. listen, Alabama, they're just much better than Mississippi State at this time, and that's just how it is. So I have Alabama winning 27-7. Next game is Abilene Christian, FCS opponent. I expect Mississippi State to win this game 42-3. I have the score as. No explanation there. And that win gets Mississippi State into a bowl game. So that's good. And then going into the Egg Bowl. The Egg Bowl is always played on the Egg Bowl is always played on Thanksgiving. It's a Thursday night game. I think ESPN usually carries it every year. And they are this year. Last year, this game wasn't even close. I think it was like 33-3, if I'm not mistaken. I think it'll be something very similar. I am giving Ole Miss a few more points. I have it 33-12 at Mississippi State. I just think Mississippi State is a much better team than Ole Miss. I think there is a difference there. Sorry, Ole Miss fans. Even though Ole Miss, I will say this about Ole Miss: they are going to be playing. I think they're going to be some hype around that team. I think they're going to be playing for a bit of an edge because they are finally eligible for a bowl game. So I will say that about Ole Miss, but give me Mississippi State to win that game. I have it 33-12. And before I continue, please do not hold me to these picks and scores. The goal is to get the record prediction and the conference record prediction correct, not the game-by-game correct. So please do not hold me to these picks and scores. But anyways, if you add up the total, I have Mississippi State going 7-5 with a 3-5 conference record. So 7-5 with a 3-5 conference record. I'm very leery about the Mississippi State offense. I really think that is a big time Achilles heel for Mississippi State, and I think that holds them back some. So that's why I have it at 7-5. And I don't think they could get past, even if the offense does play great for Mississippi State, I don't think they could get past Alabama and LSU, at least Alabama. So 7-5 with a 3-5 conference record. Comment down below. Tell me what you think about this prediction. I always like hearing from y'all. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and please subscribe to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated if you do that. Thanks for watching, and this is McD the Beast signing off.